In this video, we're going to be looking at doing polynomial regression on a TI-83 or TI-84 calculator. Here I have an example that has x values and their corresponding y values. So the first thing we want to do is go into y equals and make sure it's clear, because otherwise it can be a mess on your screen. Next thing we want to do is go to second y equals, and it'll pull up the stat plot menu. I'm going to go to number 1 to turn plot 1 on and hit enter on. And then I'm going to go down to type, and I want to change my graph type to a line graph. Technically you can see with the scatter plot, but I think it's a little bit easier to see with your line graph the number of turning points you have. Another thing that you could have done rather than go to second y equals is you can go up to y equals, and above you see we have plot 1, plot 2, plot 3. If you go up and hit enter on the plot, that will turn the plot on. In this case it would turn it off because it's already blacked out. When the plot is blacked out, it's turned on. So next we want to go to stat and edit, and we want to enter our x values into our list 1 and our y values into our list 2. I've already done it to make things a little bit easier. Next we want to go to graph. Looking at this, we see that our graph has 2 turning points, one here and one here, which tells us that our minimum degree is 3, because your minimum degree is your number of turning points plus 1. This tells us that we need to run a cubic regression. So to do that, I'm going to go to Stat, over to Calc, and I'm going to go down to number 6, cubic reg, and I'm going to hit enter. I want to make sure that my x list is the list that I put my x values in, and I want to make sure my y list is the list that I put my y values in. And then I'm going to go down. One option you have, it's not necessary, but it gives you a better view of what your polynomial looks like, is you can choose to store the polynomial that you're about to get into a y equals spot. So I'm going to choose to do that. I'm going to go to vars, over to y vars, number 1. I'm going to choose 2 because I want to store my function in y2. And I'm going to hit enter. So now, when this polynomial regression is done, it will store the polynomial we get into y2. So I'm going to go down to calculate, and I come up with this. It gives me y equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. So y equals, a is 1, so I have x cubed, and then it gives me 0 for b, so I have 0x squared, and then I get negative 4 for c, so minus 4x, and then plus 0 because d is 0. So I get y equals x cubed minus 4x. So let's see what that looks like on the graph. The red line is where it's graphed the polynomial that we just found.